say the price of my love's not a price that you're willing to pay. You cry in your tea, which you hurl in the sea when you see me go by. Why so sad? Remember we made an arrangement when you went away. Now you're making me mad. Remember, despite our estrangement, I'm your man. You'll be back, soon you'll see. You'll remember you belong to me. You'll be back, time will tell. You'll remember that I served you well. Oceans rise, empires fall. We have seen each other through it all. And when push comes to shove, I will send a fully armed battalion to remind you of my love. Da 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 da. You say your love is draining and you can't go on. You'll be the one complaining when I am gone. And no, don't change the subject, 'cause you're my favorite subject. My sweet, submissive subject. My loyal, royal subject. Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. You'll be back like before. I will fight the fight and win the war. For your love, for your praise, and I love you to my dying day. When you're gone, I'll go mad. So don't throw away this thing we had. 'Cause when push comes to shove, I will kill your friends and family to remind you of my love. Da 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 da. Everybody! Da 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 da.
McDonald's is the place to rock. It is a restaurant where they buy food to eat. It is a good place to listen to the music. People flock here to get down to the rock music. Rock and roll McDonald's! Rock and roll McDonald's! Rock and roll McDonald's! Rock and roll McDonald's! McDonald's will make you fat. They serve Big Macs. They serve quarter pounders. They will put pounds on you. Rock and roll McDonald's! Rock and roll McDonald's! Rock and roll McDonald's! Rock and roll McDonald's! McDonald's hamburgers are the worst. They are worse than Burger King. A Big Mac has 15 grams of fat. A Quarter Pounder has 12 grams of fat. Rock and roll McDonald's! Rock and roll McDonald's! Rock and roll McDonald's! Rock and roll McDonald's! Rock on London, rock on Chicago. Wheaties, breakfast of champions.
No man has, though their sad powers may prevail, can possess, conquer my country's heart. They rise to fail. She is eternal, long before nations' lines were drawn. When no flags flew, when no army stood, my land was born. And you ask me why I love her, through wars, death, and despair. She is the constant, we who don't care. And you wonder, will I leave her? But how? I cross over borders, but I'm still there now. How can I leave her? Where would I start? Where man's many nations tear themselves apart. My land's only borders right around my Morning, evening, and afternoon, everyone, and welcome to that Bastard Chat Badly Plays. He's playing Cleveland Castle once again. When we last left off last week, we basically accomplished what we came in for. Intermission, sorry, I love Monty Python. Oh, you know damn well I do. Why do you think I play this? You think this is for sure? You think this is for sure? But welcome to the bastard chap badly plays today. Of course, he's playing King of the Castle. And of course, he's playing this whole entire thing with the intention of winning again. You know damn well he's gonna win again. Do you know how I know he's gonna win again? Because I made it so last week. And I intend to do it again. And you know how I'm gonna do it again? I'll tell you how I'm gonna do it again. It's by basic virtue of being just that good. I don't need no bots. I don't need to pay people to strengthen my Kings of the Castle account. I don't need any of that shit. All I need is you. All I need is me and this all equipment. And also, for some reason, the one lad that just seriously has a hard time understanding that the internet exists and he doesn't have to use his TV to basically have it connected to my stream whenever I stream. I don't know why he does this, but at the end of the day, hopefully he knows that there are different avenues to basically come across. Please, for the love of God, understand that this isn't me pleading. This is just me wanting to know if your well-being is doing well. Yeah, it's just something I need to keep in mind as I'm basically going along with this stream. Very much so. But as well as that, how are you doing? We are, of course, going to play with the Grandees, the Counts, and the Chiefs like we always do, because I love those accents very, very much, and I don't have to scream my head off as much. But yes, hopefully you're all doing well, and that we can basically start this game off with a lovely bash. For anyone who wants to know my well-being, I've been basically getting inquiries for extra gigs. And they are coming along. One of those gigs actually may be just a nice walk from here. And as a result, that basically gives me so much relief, knowing I don't have to walk as far just to get stuff done, really. But until then, I'm going to enjoy it. Although there was one inquiry. This one inquiry where, essentially, I really wanted it. I really looked forward to trying to be a part of it. But at the same time, it would take a while for me to get there. But I wouldn't mind doing that in order to just have my own form of fun. Of course, I got released from it, to which, at the last moment, as I was setting up stream, I got that same inquiry saying, would you like to be here at 2 p.m? Which is like, yes. Why? You've been released. Okay, never mind. Essentially, it was a wee big cock tease to basically, for work, essentially. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. At the end of the day, there's more work to be done, regardless of if I'm there or not. But yeah, it's always entertaining when it comes to being an extra and stuff. But yeah. Hopefully you have your lovely attachments ready, and we can get this game underway. And of course, we've got the one, the only, the best actor in the world.
Nicolas Cage.
The best actor in the friggin' world! Do not at me! No, please don't. My ex-wife will know about me. And we'll catch up on that. Hopefully I'll do that. Oh, speaking of things that I will be doing, on April 30th, I got a ticket, to go see Baby No Money. And you might be wondering, who is Baby No Money? Well, he made the song, It Boy, or ITBOY BBNO $, that's him, the Gen Z Eminem. And as well as that, Piccolo, or if you know an earlier work, Edamame, or and around that, C'est La Vie with Rich Brian and Young Gravy. If any of those ring a bell, that's all for you, really. But regardless of that, it's time to play the game! And of course, there is a new game for me to play that on Sunday. Although technically I have played it before, but it's been a while since I've ever played it to this day. And I look forward to playing it again, very much so. And also, you may have not already noticed, but I have recently shaved. How recent? Just like 5 minutes ago. Hopefully it doesn't come off in a rash, and that, as you can see, the pristine bristles of this illustrious mustache stay intact as much as possible. No one will take that from me. And if they do, that's very despicable of them. Disgusting. Rodents would basically vomit at the sight of me. But regardless, hopefully we get stuff done. Anyway, let's get into the game! Hopefully you are. I'm going to turn off that lovely music that you all just illustriously saw. And we're going to play some good old-fashioned Get in the Castle. Get your readies. And thus, let's get into the game, baby! Delicious. Also, that delicious, high-functioning liquid that's coming from this lovely cup right here. This lovely little cup that I drink from. You can't hear it right now, but that's the sound of me playing the game. Perfection. Perfect! And I hope you all are ready and prepared for the lovely dynasty that we have before you. And hopefully others will be joining us as we go along. A lovely little repertoire, so to speak, as we continue the lovely dynasty with King Lagertha II of the Class Traitor dynasty, presiding over the kingdom of the Grandees of the South, the Counts of the East, and the Chiefs of the North. And as we can clearly see, Lagertha had just experienced seeing loss. It's rather unfortunate, to say the least, but hopefully King Lagertha makes a full recovery and is able to see again. And if anyone proceeds to try and abjugate me, just know you're doing it against a half-blind person. You are being ableist. Very ableist indeed. But you wouldn't do that, now would you? But yes, it's time to basically load the game and get our sights settled. So how much do you play this game? Noble Dragon? Let me just... Bit of an odd question, but... Let me just double check something. Let me just check that right now. Because I can just check my Steam profile. Hey, Leafy! Hey, 85 hours! 85 hours! You could consider me a little bit of an expert in the game. And of course, we've got Hyena the Second! Because their predecessor died horribly. Here's your 1,650 gold. Leafy the Second with 550 gold. And Rainier with 1,450 gold. Which means Leafy will be the most broke out of all of us. Noble Dragon! Thank you for joining us on this escapade that you basically see upon you. And thus we have enough to play the game! But here's your 1,000 gold, don't spend it all in one place. And I hope you all enjoy this ever so loving escapade of King Lagertha II of the Class Traitor dynasty. What was the previous victory to basically make King Lagertha II? It was the "You really love me" victory. You know damn well I do be having that victory, baby! Behold, name change, color name change. Oh! And thus as a result you are about to the guns. Yes. But yes, let's begin the game! Oh, how we enjoy. But of course, when it came to that victory, came on, let's dethrone it. No. No. I'd rather you didn't. Mods, take away his rights. Perfect. Anyway, we got the authority of 6, the stability of 6, a treasury of 4,250 gold. You ain't gonna call me brokey if this is how much I have in my fucking repertoire. You can't touch me. And as well as that, I have dethroned everyone I ever joined. Well then, I guess you're going to enjoy watching King or Queen or Monarch Lagertha the Third then, cause I ain't losing to the likes of a chief! Okay. But that's beside the point. For the chiefs, we have a trade of 10, a farming of 9, a military of 4, a faith of 5, and a defiance of 2. And as for the counts, we have a trade of 10, a farming of 10, a military of 4, a faith of 9, and a defiance of 2. Meanwhile, for the grandees, we have a trade of 9, a farming of 7, a military of 5, a faith of 10, and a defiance of 2. And you might be wondering, chiefs and counts are the most, what's the word? I think they call them the most heretical? The most heretic clans of their kind. To which, hey, your boy got it done. That's all I have to say. Your boy gets it done. Your boy ain't going out like a fool. You know I'm just that good. I'm too good. But as well, but hopefully with the treasury we have, we're gonna get along just fine. Just fine as we go into the council introduction. Now that you're the king, your first duty is to meet with the Council of Nobles. Introduce yourself to the chiefs of the north. Go look at the days ahead, your greatness! You'll need a dinner with a lot of us! Ah yes, noble dragon. I will be sure to keep that in mind. By the way, you are the third dragon out of a lot of dragons on this chat. We got Dragon on Computer, we got Ice Blue Dragon, and now we have Noble Dragon. Oh, of nobility. Won't that be interesting? And I hope you enjoy yourself here as well. Introduce yourself to the Council of the East. In honor to finally make your acquaintance. Your Grace, I was in dismay to hear of your mother's passing. One funeral. But yes, introduce yourself to the grandees of the South. May the ninth god bless your reign, your highness. I trust you will conduct yourself with honor and faith. Yes, hyena, I will be sure to do that ever so illustriously. Yes, very much so. And with that, the introductions are done. The council hall immediately fills with raised voices as the nobles argue. Is this what your mother fought so hard for? Oi. And thus, we now go to the coronation. Your Majesty, it was an honor to serve your mother, but now it's time to wear the crown. It's your time to wear the crown, I mean. As is tradition, the council will decide what happens at your coronation. Let's get this over with. Shall we call the nobles in? Alright! Guys, do you A, host a lavish parade with jugglers and fountains of wine? B, invite foreign dignitaries to show off our wealth? Or C, throw the king in the river? Or D, outdated traditions? There's no need for a concentrate coronation at all. We're gonna veto that one. A, B, or C? Be sure to get your voting heads out and vote now! Voting, voting, voting. The voting is for you. Hey, voting, vote. Lower the treasury, it's the biggest threat. What you talk about? What you talk about, noble? Oh, But would you look at that? You want to target my treasury? I'd rather go into the river! Anyway. Voting is started at it too! Oh, lovely jubbly. Hey, how about you throw me in the river? Since you want to basically throw my money away. Throw me in the river! It is decided. The king will be thrown in the river. Yeah, let me get changed out of my nice robes. The nobles pick you up and carry you out of the Treadwater River, hurtling you into the shallow water with a cheer. When you climb back up the bank, soaking wet, the Chancellor steps forward and places the crown upon your head. Is it your imagination? Or are some of the nobles stifling giggles? I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Moving on. And thus we now go to the path of victory. Your Majesty, you have some big boots to fill, and with your mother out of the picture, the nobles will be looking for any opportunity to replace you. When you die, how do you hope the kingdom will remember you? Well, as we all know, as the architect of the new golden age, as we can clearly see. A lofty goal indeed. I suggest over the next few years you focus on improving the kingdom's overall trade as much as possible. Once you have an heir, I will return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Good luck, Your Majesty. Ah, yes. And thus, we end the season and see who wants to take the throne! Chris of the Hyena Droid lineage, powerful southern auditor, stands bathed in sunshine, ranting in a fury. A false pretender occupies the throne while my claim is ignored. Grandees of the South, this is a stain on an honor. We must not allow it to go unanswered. Alright, do you A, use, and by the way, Hyena, do you do A, sorcery, which is raising the authority, B, doppelganger, which is lowering your own defiance, or C, a witch hunt, which is having the highest faith? Which one shall you pick, Hyena? Which one shall it be? A, B, or C? Just gonna take a sip of this. And you have voted for witch hunt. Oh. The voting is now closed. Witch hunt. There's all sorts of heresy in the capital, and the Grandees intend to expose it. First, they must ensure the South is beyond reproach. Never seen witch hunt before, so it'll be a new experience. Hey! It's always good to have a new experience, wouldn't you say? To advance their scheme, the Grandees must be the region with the highest faith in 3 seasons. Now that could change at any point. Any point at all. But, regardless. Meanwhile, Grimoire. Ooh, I love the mustache. Love it. Grimoire of the Rainier dynasty, infamous Eastern chess master, leans delicately on a podium, whispering carefully. My fellow Khans, in ancient times, the East was its own proud kingdom. We must bring these days of glory, but not while the false King Lagafa II wears the crown. So what shall you do, Rainier and Levy? Will you do A, subterfuge, which is lowering stability, B, an uprising, which is raising the treasury, or C, possession, which is lowering your own defiance? Which one shall it be? Alright, Rainier has chosen possession. What will you pick now? Demons are cool. And Levy is willing to follow. So possession seems to be the main goal for the Count. Voting is closed, and thus possession requires lowering your own defiance. The Count's plan to summon a demon to possess the king, put him totally under their control. First, they must lull the king into a false sense of security. To advance their scheme, the Counts must lower their defiance to 4 or less in 2 seasons. I'll keep that in mind. Meanwhile, Gunhild of the Noble Dragon clan, notorious northern auditor, stands precariously on a long horse Longhouse crossbeam, spitting as they speak. Shades of the North! We all know I should be on the throne, not listen bastard King Lagerfeld II. How did we make that happen? Alright, do you A, do intimidation, which is raising stability, B, a prophecy, which is raising the authority, or C, a horn blow, which is lowering all faith? Which one shall you do, noble? Which one shall you do? As I take a big sip from my cup. You have chosen prophecy, which is raising the authority. Oh! The voting is closed. And thus a prophecy must be done. The chiefs plan to realize an ancient northern prophecy. Before the new queen rises, the kingdom will be ruled by a mad tyrant. To advance their schemes, the chief must raise authority to 5 or more in 2 seasons. Shit. But yeah, it looks like all your goals are basically moving as planned, it seems. Let's do it for a call of unity. Why not? End the season! And thus we have the Honor Guard, a call for apprentices and missing bees. Bees. Anyway, the Honor Guard. One day, you're walking through the palace gardens when you're confronted by an unusual sight. One of your palace watch is standing guard, but instead of a pike, he's holding a mop. Guy, lower all trade, that's what he is going for. What are you talking about, noble? I want nothing but the best for you. You have to understand that. I mean, let's put it into words that I think we can all agree with. That if you are in the bidding wars and you use all of your money, you will be considered very much so. But remember, we are also, but then again, we are also joined by the lovely ReactBot. ReactBot, do you think lowering the trade is a suitable thing to do?
Got me feeling a certain type of way.
Okay, we're gonna move on from there. I don't think what I just said was enough to move him. But yeah. What in the 7 hells is that? An improvised polearm? Last week a grubby little urchin kicked me in the shins and stole me proper bike. I grabbed the first replacement I could find. You're an idiot. Get a new bike right now! I tried, but the quartermaster was too drunk. I can only apologise, Your Majesty. The palace watch have been more incompetent than usual recently. It's obvious you need a proper honor guard to protect you. But first, how can we improve the watch? Alright, shall we A, spend a fortune on fancy new equipment? B, invite southern soldiers to provide training? C, enforce harsher discipline? Or D, that there is no need to do anything? A, B, C, or D? Vote now! Voting, voting, voting. The voting is for you. Hey! Voting, voting, voting. It's what you all should do. Voting, voting, voting. The voting is for you. Ow! Hyena! Don't you dare throw another biscuit at me. How dare you? How dare. Voting, voting, voting. It's what you all should do. Voting, voting, voting. It's all you should do. Voting, voting, voting. It's what all you should do. We're only missing one person out of this vote. Hyena, you have 10! Oh, never mind, you don't have 10 more seconds. We are now at a tied vote! Now I get to be the deciding vote! Isn't that exciting? Money spent, or money spent? I believe there's no need to do any of that. Next time you patrol the palace grounds, you notice that more and more of your watch have lost their equipment. The mop has been joined by other improvised weaponry, including rolling pins, colanders,
fireplace pokers, and a head of lettuce. Interesting indeed. If one's thing clear from this Ow! Dubs! Can't you see I'm trying to rule a kingdom here? Most monarch wanna what are you trying to say, wanna be? Most monarch wanna keep authority high. But I'm not like all the other monarchs. I'm motherfucking worse. The heck are you doing on YouTube streaming? Because I'm just that good. You know your boy is basically multi-streaming. That's right, if you don't want to basically see me on Twitch, you can watch me on YouTube. That's right, I'm doing multiple streams. And I think you all would be happy knowing that that's what I do now. Potato. Yeah, I see that, very much so. Although I should really place that chat in this one as well. But they usually keep those two mixed up anyway. So, you know, I'm gonna basically work things out. But let's move along. If one thing's clear from this mess, it's that you need an honor guard who can actually keep you safe. Not like these kittens. Think carefully, your majesty. These guards' loyalties will be divided between you and their region. Of course, you could just haul foreign mercenaries. They'd be loyal to a coin above all. Let's go for... let's go for motherfucking Northern Warriors! That's right. That's all we need. I'll make the arrangements at once. Lovely jubbly. The warrior heroes arrive a few weeks later. Talk about the multitasking brain cell. I know, right? Very much so. They swagger in with big grins and bigger axes, belching and singing and roaring out unsavory jokes. One of your courtiers faints. But yes, let's go for a call for apprentices. Dreadful tidings, your highness. A meddling wizard has set up shop in Sirona. I believe it is the Lord of the Bells. Then again, it would be funny if I go back and forth between both platforms to force read both chat. Yeah, I know. But yeah, that would be very funny, but in a very hurtful way. Do not hurt me. Why is this a problem? They've put out a call for new apprentices, which is a very rare event. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many. Droves of unwashed, glory-seeking knaves from all over the south are lining up for their chance. Not just peasants! I, noble dragon, have also decided to apply. The competition will be fierce, but those villagers are no match. I will be the most powerful noble this council has ever seen. You couldn't even put on your clothes on if it wasn't for your servant's help. We can't let this go ahead. Not only is this heresy, it presents a clear and dangerous conflict of interest. Then we shall assemble the council. God bless you, your holiness. Lovely jubbly. Do we A, allow Chief Noble to become apprentice? B, require he forfeits his noble title in order to become an apprentice? Or C, forbid Noble Dragon from traveling to Saronia? Oh! Well, it seems like you only have one choice, it seems. A or B, vote now! Voting, 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 the voting is for you. Hey, voting, 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 it's what you all should do. Hey, voting, 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 voting is for you. Hey, voting, 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 it should all be all you do. Hey, voting, voting, the voting is for you. Hey, voting, 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 it's what all you should all do. Vote, 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 vote. Vote, vote, oh. 10 more seconds! 10, 9, 8, and we have... Noble, it seems that you will have to
lose all of your hard-earned possessions. Voting is closed, and thus you are required to forfeit your noble title in order to become an apprentice. I suppose that is an acceptable compromise. Noble Dragon begins his journey to Saronia immediately, which means that Noble Dragon is broke! Very much broke! Nothing but broke! Unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Great, everyone seems to do be siding with the king. And you said I was gonna basically be... Every time you come on, you think that I'm gonna be abjugated. Wrong! I will never be abjugated! Except for the times where I was, but that's beside the point! Ironically, I was about to look up some coding tutorial for my coding exam, and then boom, you popped up. Hey, I'm glad I could basically distract you from your hard-earned work, Dubs. Very much so. But his successor, Chief Noble Dragon II, inherits his position on the council, but the treasury confiscates the vast majority of his wealth as payment. And now your predecessor now takes your nobility, because you are, as you say, broke. Very much so. Hey, Riappa, what do you have to say about Noble Dragon, the first of many, losing their money?
Showing this to my doggo.
Sure. Yeah, show it to everyone. In fact, share this stream when you have the chance. Presence in Saronia attracts all sorts of visitors. Through the power of their lenient magic starts to wilt crops for miles around. Ha! Would you look at that? A trading empire like no other. We are booming! Very much booming. Oh, gracious. Anyway, time to see where those bees have gone. Your Grace, terrible news from the east. The bees have vanished. All the bees? All of them. All across the east. We can't rely on the bees for our honey trade. But worse, in the east, bees are bringers of good fortune. We look after them, and they look after us. It's a grim omen, indeed, if they deserted us. Our serfs are scared that we've offered the bees somehow. We must track them down. Alright, do we A, bees come and go. Let nature take its course. B, send messages to investigate other regions. Or C, ask the peasants if they've noticed anything wrong. Interesting indeed, if you ask me. So I would happily go for... Let's go for... How about we just let those bees come and go? Let nature take its course. A, B, or C, vote now! Voting, vote, voting. The voting is for you. Voting. It's what you all should do now. Voting. It's all you should do. Hey, voting. The voting is for you now. Voting. Voting. Voting is for you now. Voting. 10 more seconds! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I just saw that you voted for C, but it's not showing. Do you mind doing that again, Leafy? That's actually I will let you have this, because otherwise... Do you mind doing that again? Don't know why it's... Huh. Did something go... Do you mind repeating that? There we go. Voting is tied at a 2! And thus, do I go with my choice? Or do I go with asking peasants if they've noticed anything wrong? Humming. See it is. Ask the peasants if they notice anything wrong. Bah! What do the peasants know? Oh well, I suppose it's better than nothing. While the nobles scoff at the king lowering himself to listen to the peasantry, the peasants themselves are happy to have a voice for a change. You hope to find something useful soon. I don't see how any of this have to do with the counts. Hey, your guess is as good as mine. Moving on! End the season! And now we're at the auction stage! Hyena the second with 1,650, Rainier with 1,450, Captain Leafy with 550, and Noble Dragon, the most broke out of all of them, with only 0 to their name. For the chiefs, we have A monument, which raises the authority, B, a stadium, which lowers the military. For the counts, we have C, an observatory, which lowers the faith, or D, a prison, which lowers stability. Whilst for the grandees, we have E, a deer park, which lowers the farming, or F, a theatre, which lowers the authority. A, B, C, D, E, or F, get your bags out and throw them on the ground! Bidding. Get your bidding on. Bidding. I don't see how any... Bidding. A bidding. A bidding. Bidding. A bidding. Bidding. A bidding. A bidding. A bidding. You have 40 seconds to bid. Oh, and we are off! Someone wants to lower the authority as much as possible. Oh, isn't that an amazing thing to say the least? Trying to lower the authority even more. Oh! Whilst they want to lower the chief's military. Oh, this is some righteous, dubious shit right here. Will anyone counteract that in the next 15 seconds? We still have a lot to go on. Will there be a counteracting? We only have 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And just like that, the military has been lowered, and so has the authority. Interesting indeed. Time to end the season! Lovely. A laughingstock, finding a spouse. Let's go for finding a spouse first. Your Majesty, it's important you find a spouse sooner rather than later. I'll take the liberty of finding eligible candidates. What is your preference, men, women, or do you not mind? I really don't care, mate. Thank you, Your Majesty. I'll send out messages to the most influential noble families in the kingdom. Let's see what they have to offer. Oh, lovely jubbly. A stinging problem or a laughingstock? Let's go for a stinging problem. An eastern peasant has word of the Count's bees, Your Majesty. Your Majesty! I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but I did spot a big swarm of bees going over towards the south, I did. Well, I guess this is the only king I can't defront. You're damn right. This is what is needed to be done. I can tell you that much right now. Grandee Hyena stamps in his face swollen and covered with stings.
You damn cat! I bet I sent the bees to trouble.
I imagine he's allergic to bees. They've been attacking you?
It's terrible. Those bees must be destroyed. For God's sake, our markets are ruined.
Blood and stars! These bees are our livelihood. If they're killed, they'll bring bad luck to all of us. Ah, lovely. Do we A, focus on luring the bees back to the east? B, destroy the bees in the south? Or C, get the church to help the peasants? I think we all know what to pick, and we would have faith in knowing that. let have God decide. I think it would be very nice to do so. B or C, vote now! Voting, voting, voting. The voting is for you. Hey, voting, voting. Voting is for you now. Voting, voting, voting. The voting is for you. Hey, voting, voting, voting. It's what you all should do now. Voting, voting. Voting is for you now. Voting, voting. Voting is for you now. Voting, oh! Get the church to help heal the peasants or destroy the bees in the south? How about we do that tying too, and we just get the church to help to heal these peasants. Get the church to help heal these peasants. Grandee Hyena II looks pleased and bows, hurrying away to summon some priests. Not every priest is happy about the risk of stinging, but enough attend to the peasants to get them in better shape for work. Soon the markets have returned to normal. Lovely! Time for the laughing stock. Your Majesty, the acclaimed playwright Nigel Sullivan has written another smash hit. All the theatres in the capital are showing it nightly. Oh, wonderful. I love his work. So do I. So does everyone. But the problem is that the new play features a character obviously based on you. How am I portrayed? The character is portrayed by a professional clown named Biffo. At one point, a bucket of custard is upended over his head as he sits on the throne. Your Highness, peasants and nobles alike are watching this play. The theatres are packed. You must put a stop to it. You simply cannot be known as King Biffo. I think I'll attend the play myself. The shocked silence falls in the theatre as heralds announce your arrival. You weave from the royal box as the actors stare up at you, clearly horrified. The show must go on! The play begins. Soon enough, the Clown King arrives on stage, comedically tripping on his own robes. They somehow found an actor that looks just like you. Endless humiliations are heaped on this honking, squeaking parody. Finally, the play concludes with the custard-drenched king heading his crown to the deserving hero. All eyes turn to you. How do you rate? Climb onto the stage. Scurry off into that. No, climb onto the stage. The actors shrink away from you. The audience are deadly silent. Everyone's terrified of what you'll do next. Congratulate the actors on a hilarious play. Yes. The audience break out into relieved cheers. The actors bow before you, weeping from gratitude. Isn't it lovely when you could take a joke? Oh. After that, the whole capital can talk about nothing but your good humor and mercy. Oh, that's so lovely. Now, end the season! Oh! Hidden in a labyrinth beneath an eastern castle, a pair of counts meet to speak of their schemes against the king. The chancellor sent me a fruit basket last week to thank us for our efforts in helping the crown. It's working. Our reputation is secure. Our problem now is the archbishop. His bad little eyes will be focused on us if we are not careful. We must evade him at all costs. For the next stage of the scheme, the counts must lower their faith to 4 in less in 4 seasons. Isn't that unfortunate? It's hilarious! Hilarious indeed. Meanwhile, far to the north, where snow blankets the landscape and wolves howl in the night, the chiefs uncover an ancient prophecy foretelling the rise of a tyrant king and the warrior who will overthrow him. This isn't what the prophecy said would happen! Right! Wasn't there supposed to be a tyrant king? Something about drowning the kingdom in blood? Aye! Keep your heart on. We're not there yet.
But he needs a bit of encouragement. That's all. A few more executions, unjust imprisonments, or that sort of thing. Then the prophecy will be fulfilled, and Gundhild will rise! The chiefs aim to raise authority to at least 5.
Oh, nice.
Nice, nice, nice. Oh! Would you look at that? It's motherfucking tax season. Isn't it lovely when all the money goes to me and no one else? Oh, it's so good! I love money! But yeah, I'm just gonna do a common tax. You know, Mr. Crazy person. What are you talking about? React bot. Am I a crazy person?
Yeah, instant like.
We're just gonna send him to an education firm for a moment. Anyway, confirming the taxes and moving on. End the season! Lovely jubbly. We've got occupational hazard, eligible options, and dealing with the swarm. Lovely. Anyway, I have found 3 potential matches for you. 1 eligible young candidate from each of the kingdom's 3 regions. Choose wisely. You'll be securing a powerful alliance. Yeah, I know. The Chancellor leads you to a great hall, where they've arranged 3 portraits on easels. For now, each is covered by a cloth. Alright then, let's see the eligible candidates. They whisk away the cloth from the first portrait. This is Kinstjed, firstborn daughter of the Northern Noble Dragon clan. Beautiful, isn't she? Apparently she's also exponentially well-mannered and agreeable, for a Northerner. She keeps the company of witch women and god speakers who they've taught her mysterious secrets. They say she's popular with the common folk up north too. I say they appeal. This is Uvan, the eldest heir of the Eastern Captain Leafy dynasty. I'd met them at a party once, but all they did was squeak out a hello and ran off. Seemed nice enough. They had a laboratory installed in their castle and spends most of their time there, conducting bizarre experiments. They're always planning something. They say, schemes within schemes. An intriguing candidate. And finally, from the south, Ignazio, the eldest son of the hyena lineage. He's preoccupied with honor and has been in a few too many duels in his time. He always wins. He's a very skilled swordsman. The most common criticism of him is that he sometimes skips church. Not bad at all. What do you think? Of course, by picking a candidate, you'll anger the other regions, but you'll gain a lifelong alliance. I'm at 2 streams at once. Ooh, isn't that lovely, Noble? Thank you very much. Hey, if you want, you could do a subscriptione. I do music videos on that shit. I hope you enjoy Dr. Worm. I've made my decision. Fucking Ignazio of the South. Excellent. I'll make the arrangements at once. Lovely, chavale. Isn't that awesome? Occupational hazard. We've received a message from the wizard. Your Majesty, I heard it in my mind during breakfast. It was quite disturbing. Yes. Their new apprentice, Noble Dragon the 5, has died. This is quite normal, Your Majesty. The survival rate of wizard apprentices is less than 1 in 10. Regardless, has sent us compensation. How charitable. And what of the damage that they've already wrought in Saronia? Did we receive any compensation for that? You should sing Dr. Worm for us. Maybe. Oh! Well, if you insist, if you very much insist. One moment. Wait.
I will be with you all in just a few seconds. As I'm about to sing the song. Are you all ready? Because I actually have this oh so handy and ready. And thus, you may be thinking, oh, how does it work? Well, it works a bit like, well, let me just get the music. Do I even have the music on here? Oh my god, I don't. I just have. Oh my god, I don't have it. Well, I mean, I technically do, but not in the way that I want. Fair enough. 1 second. There is a way that I can solve this problem. Just needs a few seconds. Just give me a few seconds. Just a few seconds. Oh, and also the ads are about to play. Let me just skip that so we can get this.
I've declared war,
so
not because capitalism
just so you do that.
my side,
Without
rather
nostalgia for an America gone by. This war's a people's war against a system that spiraled out of our control. It's a war against the fucking forces of entropy. Understand? Do whatever it takes to stop them, defeat them, gut them. If I gotta kill, I'll kill. If I need your body, I'll fucking take it. Fucking hell. Yes, very much so. And thus, yes. But before we get into it, let me just do this very quickly so we can get things 100%, and then we can continue on with this. Of course, I'll need to have the microphone up close and personal in order to get my vocals to be the right amount. But yeah, hopefully you're all doing well and that you get to listen to the lovely Dr. Worm. Very much so. And yes, right now I'm just having it, I'm definitely not downloading it from a lovely website. Let me just MP3 audio quality and then convert that shit. Come on, I'm trying to entertain the masses. Can't do it when you're looking at me. And then we can then get on with the rest. And also, the Queen will be dethroned by the Counts, not by me. I need someone else in the Nords. Well, don't worry, that will eventually occur. Make no mistake, that will happen. Come on, you little so-and-so. I know you could do it. Come on. Just, come on. Come on! Come on. Fine. I have another idea. Don't worry, I have another idea. Because apparently this one doesn't want to work. Let me just, do this very quickly then. Okay, work, and then this, and then this, and we're just going to place that in there. Someone else needs to be in north so I can leave without problems. I see, very much so. Anyway, time for me to do the big singing. We will get back to this in just a moment. I accidentally pressed the wrong button, but at least didn't end stream or anything like that. Yeah. And I hope you all enjoy this very much so. This color performance very much so. And then once this is processed, I will then begin singing it. And you all get to enjoy some lovely little singing from yours truly. Here we go. Are you ready? Because I am. Here we go. And I do know the lyrics, don't worry. They call me Dr. Worm. Good morning, how are you? I'm Dr. Worm. I'm interested in things. I'm not a real doctor, but I am a real worm. I am an actual worm. I live like a worm. I like to play the drums. I think I'm getting good, but I can handle criticism. I'll show you what I know, and you can tell me if you think I'm getting better on the drums. I'll leave the front unlocked, 'cause I can hear the doorbell. When I get into it, I can't tell if you are watching me twirling the stick. When I give the signal, my friends, blah, 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 will play a solo. Ba-dum-ba-day. Bee bee ba dum ba dum ba dee ba dum wee ba ba dum bum boom ba ba dum ba oh. Someday somebody else besides me will call me by my strange name. They will call me Dr. Worm. Good morning, how are you? I'm Dr. Worm. I'm interested in things. I'm not a real doctor, but I am a real worm. I am an actual worm. I live like a worm, and I like to play the drums. I think I'm getting good, but I can handle criticism. I'll show you what I know, and you can tell me if you think I'm getting better on the drums. I'm not a real doctor, but they call me Dr. Worm. I think I did myself a service with that. Don't you all think so as well? I think so as well. Oh, and thank you very much for that lovely request you've just given us. I appreciate it very, very much. Very, very, very much. Thank you for the lovely drink. Hopefully I did the singing a good service. Very much so. Thank you for that, Redeem. Now back to the game. Very much so. Very, 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 very much so. But yes. Good stuff. Yeah! And what did that... Oh, yeah. Alas, no. Only this 150 gold. Perhaps Council will have an idea of what to do with it. Yes. Thank you for the gold, kind sir. And madam and all that good stuff. Yeah, moving on. So, do we A, give it to his successor, Chief Noble II, all 150 gold? B, pay the Grandees for the magical damage in Saronia? C, build a statue celebrating Noble Dragon's bravery? Or D, keep it for the treasury? Let's veto that one. And A, B, or C, vote now! Voting, 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 the voting is for you. Hey! Voting, 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 it should all be what you shall do. Voting, 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 the voting is for you. Voting, 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 voting is for you. Voting, voting, it's what you all should do now. Voting, oh voting is for you. Voting, voting, it's all you should do. 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it looks like Rainier and Noble Dragon have abstained from the voting, which is fine. Which is very fine. It is within your right to do so. Voting is now tied at a 1. And thus, do I choose giving it to the successor or pay for the damages for a magical damage? How about we just give him the 150 gold and leave it at that, alright? We've already done enough damage to the poor sod. Give it to the successor, Chief Dragon, the second. That's it! This is an insult to my namesake's memory! Who does this what I think they are? I don't fucking know, it's not my fault. Why don't you ask them for more? Why don't you ask them for more? With all due respect, Your Majesty, have you not heard the idiom, they demanded money from a wizard? It means to die. No need to get snarky, mate, alright? Your suggestion doesn't go down well. Apparently, you should have known better. Greedy. All I'm gonna say is, that's a bit greedy of you. How dare. How dare. How dare. How frickin' dare you. 1 second. I think my wires are being tangled, or at the very least, they're being mix-matched. Are they always like this? No, they weren't. And that annoys me. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. I can fix this simply by doing this. Play nice down there. Play nice down there. There we go. There we go. Safe and sound. Perfect. Moving on. Dealing with the swarm. Your Majesty, some good news from the south about the bee problem. The priests have been making up herbal ointments for treating stings. And they think they have discovered some new anti-venom that's even more effective. But we don't have enough to test it properly. Alright, do we... A, the Crown will financially contribute to the research. B, the Southern Church is on his own on this one. I think they have enough to basically finance that stuff. Or C, no more beta, please! A, B, or C for... Oh, and the ads are playing, you know what that means.
I've declared war not because capitalism's a thorn in my side, around nostalgia for an America gone by. This war is a people's war against a system that's spiraled out of our control. It's a war against the fucking forces of entropy. Understand? Do whatever it takes to stop them, defeat them, gut them. If I gotta kill, I'll kill. If I need your body, I'll fucking take it. Fucking hell.
But yes, I'll just wait a few seconds beforehand because I don't want anyone to feel as if they're being left out or anything. Because it's very, very, very annoying for that to even occur. Also, I'm just drinking some good old honest energy drink. But yeah, 2 minutes remain, and whilst though that is occurring, of course we got an authority of 3, a stability of 9, a treasury of 5,550 treasury. Do not fucking at me. Meanwhile, the chiefs have a trade of 10, a farming of 9, a military of 3, a faith of 5, and a defiance of 3. Meanwhile, the counts have a trade of 10, a farming of 10, a military of 4, a faith of 9, and a defiance of 4. Meanwhile, the grandees have a trade of 10, a farming of 6, a military of 5, and a faith of 10. Oh, isn't that and of course a defiance of 1. We are prosperous. Even the faith have some form of just like, oh, it's just so good. And I'm taking over this region with the goodest of heart. and everyone loves me, and no one is going to bat an eye when I basically enforce taxes on them. Because I'm just that good of a person. Very good of a person, wouldn't you agree? 50 seconds, of course. And then we can get into the voting stages and get everything bright and early. Oh, I will say, oh, and also, I keep forgetting I have this, where I could just go... It's a rubber chicken. I can annoy the hell out of you. I can even summon the bellhop on this shit. This is now an ASMR channel. You are being relaxed. Isn't that right, ReactBot?
That's what you get.
You're damn right. That is what you get. I'm providing a good service to everyone, and they better appreciate it as much as I do when it comes down to it. Very, very, very much so. And the ads are over. Hopefully you're doing fine for yourself and that nothing has gone wrong. Anyway, the Southern Church is on his own for this one. A, B, or C, vote now! Voting, 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 the voting is for you. Hey! Voting, 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 it's what all you should do now. Voting, 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 the voting is for you. Hey! Voting, 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 it's what all you should all do now. Voting, voting, voting is for you now. Voting, 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 voting. Vote, I vote, oh vote, 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 oh voting, 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 vote. Hey! 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, no 1. And we seem to have voting closed, and thus the noble and me have voted that the church is alone on this one, but so the researchers looks in danger of fizzling out before the Archbishop swoops in to help. He delegates priests all across the south to test this new remedy, and even pays the grandees to use their estates as hospitals. The council eagerly awaits the results. Lovely! End of season! Meanwhile, in a picturesque castle overlooking the southern city of Kovana, two grandees lie back to enjoy the sun. Please be! Whispers of our plan have reached the peasants, and they are in an uproar. They call for the sins of the king to be laid bare. I already have leads on information from inside the palace that we can use against the king. It's only a matter of time. We have the High Inquisitor on our side, but we must also sow dissent among the other legions. We won't succeed alone. For the next stages of the scheme, the grandees must raise other regions' defiance to a combined total of at least 8, or ensure other regions begin a rebellion in 3 seasons. Oh dear! Oh dearie, 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 indeedy. You don't like to see that now, do ya? Oh, it's not looking well. It's not looking well, bruv. It's not looking well, bruv. It's not looking well. And yeah! Lovely jubbly. A taxing issue, the royal wedding, and anti-venom research. Venom! Anti-venom! Your wedding to Ignazio is naturally the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike travel from across the realm to attend. For a week and a day, the capital is one giant party. It feels like you're the only one not taking part. Instead, you're getting ready for the ceremony. Soon enough, you're standing in St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Ignazio at your side. Do you take this man as your lawfully wedded husband? Fuck it, I do. Then I pronounce you king and husband. You may kiss you ungodly heretics. Ha, ha. After the wedding, of course, there's a feast, and after the feast, a dance. Your new husband, Ignazio, delivers a short but heartfelt toast expressing a wish to get to know you better. By the time you find yourself alone with Ignacio, it's past midnight and you've never felt more tired. I must profess, I'm glad that's over. We can finally talk openly with each other. Oh, wait. I must profess, I'm glad that's over. We can finally talk openly to each other now. I must admit, I feel the same way. I'm glad to hear that. It must be difficult being king, constantly surrounded by liars, lick-spitters, and flatterers. I don't know how you stand it. You get used to it. It's tough, but I have to do my duty. By all that is holy, I feel you. I couldn't do it. After finishing the last of the wine, you head to your separate bedchambers. It seems your husband is happy to take his time getting to know you. Lovely jubbly! Meanwhile, anti-venom research! Venom! Gonna get him! Your Holiness, I'm pleased to announce that we have discovered an effective anti-venom all over in the south. Huzzah! Indeed, we are blessed. The only thing is, Yes, the only thing is that, unfortunately, the Grandees are too focused on profit to understand how important it is for my hard-working priests to be recognized for their efforts. Look, we are as devout as anyone, but it was our peasants who went through hell to get us this remedy. You have no idea what going through hell means, but you will unless you change your ways. Alright, do we A, the church? It was the priests who discovered the valuable treatment, which will give us that. B, the Grandees, there's money to be made. Or C, this remedy should be available free for everyone. Free, you say? No, I'm not saying certain things have to happen, but I'm just saying. A or C? Vote now! Voting, voting, voting. The voting is for you. Hey! Voting, voting, voting. It should all be what you should do. Voting, 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 voting. Voting is for you. Hey! Voting, 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 voting. Voting is for you now. Voting! Voting! A voting! A voting! A voting! A voting, voting, voting. Voting, 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 voting. Voting, a voting is for you now. You have 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The remedy should be available for free for everyone. Like penicillin! Voting has closed, and thus this remedy should be available for free for everyone. Many nobles are shocked at the council's decision. Some even criticize your judgment openly. But the Archbishop praises your generosity to the people. Isn't that lovely? The antivenom proves effective on more than just bee stings. It can even treat snake bites. Southern farming sees a boom as peasants work the fields without fear. Peasants across the land sing your praises. Some enterprising souls even draw portraits of you on horseback fighting an army of bees. Ah! Ah! But also, thank you for making the honey. It was very appreciated. Ah! Barry B. Benson. Sing, sing, sing. What's the deal with sing, 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 sing? That's just hey, that's just how I imagined that would go down. Anyway, a taxing issue. Your Majesty, help us! Chief Noble Dragon II of the North has been bidding us dry, yes? Not literally, I hope. No, I'm making use of a common idiom, Your Majesty. Our taxes are 10 times higher than they ever been. I can't afford to feed the cows. It's true, Your Majesty. Chief Noble Dragon II has been taxing his peasants at least twice as much as the next highest noble. It's been a hard year, Your Highness. I've barely got any in my vault. I'm just doing what I can do to stay afloat. Fine. The gods are good! I believed you since, Your Majesty. But think of me cares, Your Honours! Think of me cares! Over the next few months, Chief Noble II becomes rich once again by jacking up his taxes. The other chiefs follow his example gleefully. Soon enough, the farms of the north are destitute. Though, I love how it says fruitful, cattle are starving and so are the peasants. Only the chiefs are fat and wealthy. Ah yes, we've seen this. I think I've seen something like this happen before. Meanwhile, end the season! Ah yes, it seems things are going to the plans of many. End the season! And now we got an old debt, raising tempers, and horrors of in the east. Anyway, what's these raising tempers? Ah! Lagertha! Lagertha! I have something I need to discuss with you. That Countess Renya challenged my honor, calling me a coward only fit to fight training dummies. I must regain my honor by fighting her at once. Give her a good kicking for me. By the 9th I will. Not to worry. The very next day, Countess Renya is summoned to the fighting ring for the much anticipated duel. Are you ready, Ignazio? I shall enjoy putting you in your place. Go, Ignazio! Ignazio grins ever so slightly. Roll the dice! The two combats circle each other like lions, their swords drawn and pointed at each other. When they finally come to blows, the fight is over almost as quickly as it begins. A quick parry here, a thrust there, and suddenly Countess Renya is holding up her hands in display of surrender. Well fought, you win. Ignazio looks positively jubilant. He has proven his skill and vindicated the family name. Yeah! An old debt, you say? How do you expect me to take this seriously, you clap-vein simpleton? Shut your deaf mouth and give me what I am owed, you owlless dog. Calm down, both of you. This people-headed latwit expects me to pay each quantity of gold just because a great-great-grandfather bit my great-great-grandfather in a foot race. A debt owed is a debt owed, is it not? Your Highness, I only recently discovered this debt while combing through my ancestors' journal and getting my ass destroyed by your husband. Honor dictates that Chief Noble Dragon is liable for his ancestors' debt. By the gods, this is ludicrous! I demand we put this to a vote. Alright, do we A, order Chief Noble Dragon to pay his debt? B, cancel the debt, it's too old for the matter. Or C, order Chief Noble Dragon to pay his debt, plus 2 centuries of interest. It's either A or B. Vote now! Voting, voting, voting. The voting is for you. Hey! Voting, voting, voting. The voting is for you now. Voting, a voting. A voting is for you now. Voting, 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 voting. Voting, a voting is for you now. Voting, voting, a voting, a voting, 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 a voting, 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 vote. You now have 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1. And it looks like your voting has been tied. Order the noble to pay his debts. Lovely jubbly. Gods be good! This council is full of idiots! Fine! Take your money! We've pleasure. Horrors in the east. Your Majesty, a monster has been stalking my farms at night, smashing down the doors of cottages and feasting on the peasants inside. Sounds ghastly. Only a few have seen the beast and live to tell the tale. The survivors tell the garbled story about gleaming fangs amidst a mountain of blood-soaked fur. Alright, do we A, send the Count's army to deal with the abomination? B, offer a substantial bounty on the monster? Or C, this is no concern of ours? How about we just put it to a vote and just offer a substantial bounty on the monster? I think it would be better for all of us. A, B, or C, vote now! Voting, 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 the voting is for you. A, voting, 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 it's what all you should all do now. Voting, 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 the voting is for you. A, voting, 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 it's what all you should do now. Voting, voting is for you now. Voting, 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 vote. Voting, 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 vote. Hey! 10 more seconds! Hyena, you may need to repeat your vote, by the way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And it looks like B is the recurring factor. Votes have closed and thus offer a substantial bounty on the monster. Lovely. The bounty is placed. Hopefully some enterprising monster slayer will claim it soon. Lovely! And the season! We are now in the auction phase! Rainier with 2,298 gold. Hyena with 1,550 gold. And Captain Leafy with 650. But Noble, the most broke with 250 gold to their name. For the Chiefs, we have A, a deer park, which lowers the farming. B, a monument, which raises the authority. For the Count, we have C, a cathedral, which raises the faith. And D, an observatory, which lowers the faith. Meanwhile, for the Grandees, we have E, a theatre, which lowers authority. Or F, a thieves guild, which lowers the trade. A, B, C, D, E, or F. Get your bags out and throw them on the ground! Voting, get your bidding on, bid it on. Get your bidding on. Get your bidding on, it a bidding on it, on it, on it, on. Oi, 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 hey, oi, 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 oi. Get your bidding on, boys. Oi, 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 hey, oi, 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 oi. Who will spend more money? You only have 30 seconds to do your funding. Who will buy anything else for the right price, I will say. You are wanting to lower the authority, Hyena, whilst someone wants to basically lower the faith. You now have 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it looks like we are continuing on this charade. Lovely jubbly. Of the observatory, which is lowering the faith, and the authority. And the season! An exotic plant, the famous cuisine, about your heir. Your marriage to Ignacio has grown strong and steady, like an old castle wall. Though it began as a political arrangement, it blossomed into something like love. It's high time you thought about an heir. Congratulations are in order. The royal wedding was a magnificent affair. But something's still missing. You need an heir. You need someone young, whose loyalty is assured. The child of your own would do the trick, even if they're a bastard or the youngest of your many cousins. My husband and I will have a child together. Ah, the traditional method. No one will object to that. I'll arrange for you to take some time off from ruling so you can get down to Hadam business. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Anyway, time for an exotic plant to come our way. Countess Captain Leafy II strides into the council chamber, brandishing a clay pot from which grows a long leafy plant with floppy yellow flowers. Her expert farmers have discovered a new kind of plant, Your Highness. I thought you might like to name this new exciting discovery. Oh, that's easy. Plantimic plant face. Descriptive. I like it. The stuff grows wonderfully fast. It tastes horrible, but... Oh, wait. The stuff grows wonderfully fast. It tastes horrible, but the farm animals don't mind. I suggest we grow it in the east as livestock feed. Or perhaps it would be a nice addition to the palace decor. A sees the plantimic plant face crop from the counts and plant it in the palace. B, cultivate it in the east, or C, ban the crop, it could be dangerous. Well, I don't want to be mean. B or C, vote now! Voting, 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 the voting is for you. Hey! Voting, 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 it's what all you should do now. Voting, 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 the voting is for you. Voting, 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 it's what all you should do. Voting, 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 voting. Voting, 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 voting. Oh, voting, 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 vote. Voting, voting, vote. 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hyena, are you going to vote at any point? Or am I going to assume that Captain Leafy will vote on your behalf? Do you want... Oh, and it looks like ban the crop, it could be dangerous. Voting is tied at a 1. Ban the crop, it could be dangerous. The counts are disappointed with the decision and start muttering about the king's unwillingness to embrace innovation. Whatever. Whatever. Time for a famous cuisine! Countess Rainier comes to you bearing a covered tray. She uncovers it with a flourish. A scholar at our new observatory says he saw the recipe for the new baklava written in the stars themselves. I think he's a little balmy, but no one can deny that it tastes amazing. Your Majesty, would you care to try some? Alright, just a little. The layers of pastry are soaked in floral honey. It's so sweet that it makes your eyes water. She watches you exponentially. Delicious! How delightful! I'm delighted you enjoyed it. Trays of baklava are carted out and served to the assembled nobles. Many are enthusiastic, but Chief Noble Dragon shakes his head in disgust. Dreadful! How can you bring this to us? It tastes like a musty doom! How dare you! You insult the pride that counts! Your Majesty! Please have this dreadful stuff taken away at once! A. Promote the Eastern baklava as a national food. B. Hire the original scholar to work in the palace. Or C. Leave the baklava in the East where it belongs. In my opinion, I think we should all go for hire an original scholar to work in this palace. Mainly just to avoid the infighting. Just saying. A, B, or C, vote now! Voting, voting, voting. The voting is for you. Hey! Voting, voting, voting. It's what all you should all do now. Voting, voting, voting. The voting is for you. Hey! Voting, voting, voting. It's what all you should all do now. Voting, a voting, a voting, a voting, a voting, 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 a voting, voting. Voting, voting, vote, 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 vote. 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and a 1. And it looks like hire the original scholar to work in the palace. Voting is closed, and thus hire the original scholar to work in the palace. The nervous scholar makes his way from the observatory to become an official member of the Palace Watch. Lovely. You throw banquet after banquet and nobles hurry to attend. You serve baklava at breakfast, lunch, afternoon, dinner, supper, and even the occasional midnight snack. The Eastern Observatory becomes a culinary landmark with chiefs and critics making pilgrimages to visit. Your husband isn't impressed about eating baklava morning and night, but never mind that. More! 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 Lovely. Lovely. And the season! Deep in the south, a grandee paces back and forth along the balcony of his hillside villa. I'm told that progress is slow. How could they be so blind, trusting in that fool of a king after everything he's done? The grandees aim to raise other regions combined defiance to 8 or more, or ensure other regions start a rebellion. Interesting. Meanwhile, a countess rides to a remote, unremarkable spot of moorland. Soon, another joins her. Blood and stars! It's too dangerous to make a move against the king with the church so influential. The counts aim to lower their faith to 4 or less. Interesting indeed. You know what? You know what? I think we're fine the way we are. Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's all coming together. Confirm the taxes, baby, and the season! An illicit trade, the monster slayer, and the deceased. The deceased. The elderly chief Marajata, a cousin many times removed of the chief noble dragon, the second died in her sleep last week. She was nearly 90, would you believe? I'm sorry, friend of yours? Not at all, your majesty. She was very wealthy, however. But she could have spent more time on her accounts. She died without a will, and the other nobles are scrambling for her estate. Chief Monitor was my relative! I wrote to her at least once a year! Of course the estate should be mine! My late great-grandfather used to play backgammon with her. He swore she intended to leave it to her family. By the gods, that's a pitiful claim! Alright. Let's not go there. We either A, give the estate to Chief Noble Dragon II, B, give the estate to Countess Captain Leafy, or C, redistribute the estate amongst the northern peasants. Whichever happens first. A, B, or C, vote now! Voting. The voting is for you. Hey! Voting. It's what all you should all do now. Voting. Hey, voting. Hey, voting. 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Voting has died at the 1 now. We already have enough trading as it is, so I think I'll take the getting a bit pissed off thing. Enjoy your estate, Captain Leafy. Give the estate to Countess Captain Leafy. Chief Noble Dragon II shakes his head, muttering with his friends about favoritism in the council. But Countess Leafy II and the other counts are delighted. They even send you and the treasurer a gift basket as a token of their appreciation. Interesting indeed. An illicit trade, you say? That plant you banned, Your Majesty, the planty McPlantface, it's such a fast-growing crop, and the flowers are so beautiful that people have started selling it on the black market. They're smuggling it out of the East in bulk, and it threatens to distribute the balance of trade across the kingdom. Is that so? Legalize planty McPlantface, but tax it heavily. I think we should do this one, very much so. I believe it would be very good. But then again, if you want to roll a dice, that's one thing. A, send soldiers to intercept the smugglers. B, burn any planty McPlantface to be found. Or C, legalize planty McPlantface, but tax it heavily. A, B, or C, vote now! Voting, 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 the voting is for you. Hey! Voting, 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 it's what all you should all do now. Voting, 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 voting is for you. Hey! Voting, 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 voting is for you now. Voting, voting is for you now. Hey! Voting, voting is for you now. Hey! 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 Voting! Voting! Oh! Voting, 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 10 seconds! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We legalize planty McPlantface, but tax it heavily. Voting is closed. And thus, the ideal way to prevent a crime is to redefine it. The smuggling dies down when it becomes clear that trading planty McPlantface through official channels is much less effort and doesn't require hiding out in the fields at night. Lovely! As for the East, their farms and traders flourish thanks to prestigious amounts of legally planted planty McPlantface. Look at that! You are frivolous. You are bountiful. Ah! Beautiful. Anyway, the Monster Slayer. Your Majesty, you have offered a bounty on the monster in East. I could have collected it by now, but I wanted to speak to you first. Why? Last week I hunted the beast down, found it feasting on the remnants of some unlucky peasant. Damn creature leapt away before I could kill it, so I followed at a distance. The beast made his way back to the Grand Keep before my very eyes. I witnessed this bloodthirsty beast transform back into Countess Rainier. Do you know what manner of creature this might be? It's some kind of skin shredder, no doubt. A nightmare beast that lives within Countess Rainier's skin and comes out at night. She will have no memory of her crimes, I am sure. What should I do? Removing the head would be a good start. I could do the deed for a small fee. For a small fee. Let's send the Inquisitors. Very well, Your Majesty. Whatever you say. I am honored by your trust, Your Highness. A team of Inquisitors are dispatched to investigate the claim of Countess Rainier sometimes turns into a monster. Hopefully they'll return intact. The counts, of course, register their disapproval that the church is meddling with their private affairs. They wanted the matter to be dealt with, but not like this. Oh dear. And the season! Lovely jubbly. I think I'll change that for that. And the year! A popular priest, a comet sighting, the Inquisitor's return. Interesting. Let's go for the comet sighting first. A blood-red comet was spotted in the night sky over the north, Your Majesty. The villagers are claiming it as a terrible omen. The common folk are on the verge of panic. Is there anything I can do? Tell the church to dispel such baseless superstitions. Roll the dice! Yes! The priests of the north preach that the comet is actually a good omen due to new interpretations of an obscure cluster of stars. Fortunately, the church is trusted enough in the north that the peasants believe their pastors. The comet is celebrated as a sign of the ninth god's favor. Interesting indeedy. Isn't that amazing? A popular priest? I would not normally interfere with the Archbishop's dealings, Your Majesty, but I'm a bit concerned about his popularity in the south at the moment. They do love the church over there. Her authority has been slipping recently. I'm afraid to say it is only natural that the people turn to alternative leaders. In this case, that's the Archbishop. Perhaps the other nobles could be convinced to help. I'm sure a few of them are jealous of the attention the Archbishop lavishes on the grandees. Alright, do we A, conduct a propaganda campaign against the Archbishop? B, order the Archbishop to visit other regions? Or C, donate a large sum to the Southern Church? A, B, or C, vote now! Voting, 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 hey, voting is for you. Hey! Voting, 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 it's what all you should all do now. Voting, 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 the voting is for you. Hey! Voting, 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 it's what all you should all do now. Voting, a voting is for you now. Voting, voting, a voting, 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 vote. Hey! Voting, the voting is for you. Hey! Voting. 10 more seconds! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue on. Voting is tied at a 1, and thus I order the Archbishop to visit the other regions. Lovely! Order the Archbishop to visit the other regions. Oh! Would you look at that? The Archbishop takes some time out of his busy schedule to visit the other regions. His influence in the south diminishes in favor of your own. Lovely frickin' jubbly. It's becoming much more apparent. The Inquisitor returns. Her Majesty, I've received word back from the Inquisitors you sent to the east to investigate the claims about Candace Rainier and her nocturnal activities. I hope for your sake they've got results. We played Candace Rainier in heavy chains and waited until nightfall. She transformed into a vicious monster. Black fur, claws like scythes. It broke free and killed a dozen Inquisitors before we subdued it. It is clear that Candace Rainier was a devil worshipper, cursed by the ninth god of her sins. We request permission to burn her alive in the town square. If Council won't like that, I should hold it to a vote. The Knife God is watching, Your Highness. Do not think you can defy his will. Alright, do we A, send soldiers to kill Countess Rainier in secret? B, throw Countess Rainier in your dungeons? C, order Countess Rainier to keep control of her condition? Or D, burn the beast alive in public? Now, if you ask me, how about we just throw you in the dungeon? That's just all I have to say about that. A, B, C, or D, vote now! Voting, 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 the voting is for you. Hey! Voting, 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 it's what you all should do now. Voting, 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 vote. Voting, 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 vote. Hey! Voting, a voting is for you now. Voting, 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 vote. Voting, 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 a voting, 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 a voting, a voting. Voting is for you. Hey! 10 more seconds! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The voting is tied at a 1. We are to throw Rainier into the dungeons. It's just what we need to do. Throw Countess Rainier into your dungeon. When your soldiers arrive to arrest Countess Rainier, they're attacked by an enormous beast. It slays dozens of knights. Once finally wounded beyond hope of recovery, it turns back into human shape. Countess Rainier lies on the floor, frail and soaked in blood. Please, release me from my curse! Countess Rainier is chained up in the dungeons beneath your palace. For months, your dreams are haunted by her howling. Unfortunately, the rumor spreads in the east that the king refused to punish the monster that devastated so many peasant families. End the season! Back in the north at Chief Noble Dragon II's Clan Hall, a congregation of God speakers huddled around the tablets. Praise be Morgana! The tablets are genuine! Oh, finally. Finally. But the gods are good! And we are blessed! And Gunhild will be our queen! All hail the Lord Emperor! Cheer circles the clan hall, and mug of ale is tipped over Gunhild's head. The influence of the old gods is spreading. We must ensure we keep the old ways of the North alive. And surely Morgana will bless us with the power to crown Gunhild. For the next stage of the scheme, the chiefs must lower their faith to 4 or less in 4 seasons. Oh, isn't that unfortunate? Ah! And the season! And the season! Oh, would you look at that? My heir! Your quest for an heir is finally complete. You stand before the council holding a small child in your arms. Should I die, I ask that my crown be passed down to... The council hall is filled with nervous silence. My child! The assembled nobles break out into a polite applause by designating an heir. You've cemented the stability of the kingdom. Your Grace, may I be the first to congratulate you on the birth of your child. What is their name? Lagerford III, of course. Most pleasing, Your Majesty. I'm sure little Lagerford III will grow up to be a chief of the old block. Congratulations on finding an heir. Now you must need to fulfill your ambition to win the game. Expect a visit from the Spymaster soon. Oh. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I had the map upside down. I apologize greatly. An easy mistake to make, wouldn't you agree? Anyway, an invitation. Your Majesty, this year we'll be holding the Winter Feast in my clan hall. It'd be an honor if you could attend. I look forward to it. Ha! I can't wait! Winterfest is a special time of year! You'll see! Aye. Howling from below. Ever since you locked up that accursed eastern monster in the dungeons beneath your palace, your dreams have been filled with howling. Tonight is the same. Howling inside your head. Incessant. Head down to the dungeons and confront the monster. You head down to the dungeons, careful not to trip on the narrow stone stairs with every step. The howling in your head grows louder. You found Countess Renya waiting for you in the cell, looking calm. How may I help you? This howling in my head, make it stop! You're just hearing the call! The only way to make it stop is to answer! Surely there must be a potion or something. Open the cell! Let me free! I'll show you. Do you think I'm bloody stupid? You have my word that you will not be hurt. Order the guards to open the cell. As the honor guard opens up the cell, Renya lunges forward. In an instant, she is transformed from the countess to a bulking beast covered in jet black fur. Your Nova warriors charge, hacking desperately with your axes. The monsters tear them apart one by one, splattering the wall with blood. But it suffers dozens of wounds. Once your honor guard are dead, the monster leaps on you, sinking his scarlet fangs deep into your shoulder. But then, with the final shudder, it dies as the last of its blood gashes from its wounds. You stand alone in the gore-soaked dungeon, catching your breath and clutching your injured shoulder. I need medical assistance! And few officers arrive from upstairs. One of them throws up and the others begin bandaging your shoulder. Your wound is slow to heal. Thankfully, it doesn't appear infected. Your physician expects a full recovery. Lovely. And the season! And now we are in the auction stages! Everyone give an applause. Everyone give an applause. And thus, Renya with 2,698 to their name. Captain Levy with 2,300 to their name. And Hyena with 1,750, with Noble Dragon still being the most. Boom! out of all of you with 350. For the chiefs, we have A, an aqueduct, which raises the farming. B, a theatre, which lowers the authority. The counts, we have C, an observatory, which lowers the faith, and D, a prison, which lowers stability. While the grandees have E, a deer park, which lowers farming, while F, a monument, which raises the authority. A, B, C, D, E, or F, get your bags out and throw them on the ground! Get your urchin on, get your urchin on, urchin on, urchin on. Orchin on, 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 orchin on. And Leafy is already trying to lower the faith. How heresy of you. While you're trying to raise the authority, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much so. Very much so. And now we basically get 25 more seconds. Will anyone basically do a snipe at any point? Or will this be a good time had by all? 15 seconds are on the clock. Will anyone intercept? 10 more seconds. Oh my giddy aunts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it looks like the authority has been raised. And thus, we have Captain Leafy with 250 on lowering the faith, whilst Hyena is raising the authority. And the season! Lovely jubbly. My ambition! Oh, my ambition! At the start of your reign, you said you wanted to be the architect of a new golden age. You've succeeded on that front. The kingdom has never been more prosperous. Well done, your majesty. But to shut down your nobles scheming for good, we need to build on that reputation. Your advisors have some ideas. Have you heard of the Scepter of Sages? In an ancient lost artifact forged by Queen Amala the Wise, there's a legend that any king who recovers it will rule over a golden age. My advice, on the other hand, would be to infiltrate each region with loyal spies, defeat their schemes with schemes of their own. But the Chancellor has other ideas. Stability and trade. Hey, I'm down with creating a kingdom-wide spy network, if you ask me. A wise decision, Your Majesty. I'll begin recruiting spies. We'll send them across the kingdom in the guise of traveling bards. But this will require a fine touch. Your priority is to raise the kingdom's stability and overall trade as much as you can. And of course, there can't be any open rebellions among the nobles. Lovely jubbly! Fear dreams. Over the course of autumn, you find yourself plagued by horrific dreams. You're running through open woods full of screams as your colossal jaws bite beasts and humans alike. You're always hunting. Always hungry. The council has noticed your lack of sleep as you become tired and irritable during court sessions. Something must be done. Fine. Oh wait. Seek out the woods, witches for a folk remedy. While the spy master keeps an ear out for rumors of magic, you begin your search in the spare time. You can only hope you find someone before it's too late. Oh dear. Troublesome holiday makers. Oi. By the 9th, this is not to be born! Grandee Hyena II brandishes a crumpled hat. A hat? Oh, much appreciated. I think that is mine. This was left on my edge of my estate by a group of counts on holiday, along with a huge number of empty wine bottles of wine. They scattered picnic baskets everywhere, trampled my crops, and sat around a bonfire all night. My horses were terrified. Now I know the cobbler was Countess Rainier II and her desolate idle friends. We're just enjoying our prosperity and taking a break. Those clear skies, that shining sun. What a nice change from the east. You're becoming a werewolf, eh, chap? I don't know what you're talking about. You should be flattered that we're so eager to visit. Flattered? Nine for us. When the counts come to our lands, all they must do is cause trouble and destruction. Alright, do we, no more holidays in the south. B. The holidays can continue, but the counts must pay the grandees a generous sum. C. Carry on as usual. Grandee Hyena is angry over nothing. Or D. Encourage the counts on holiday in the north instead. A, B, or D. Vote now! Voting, voting, voting. The voting is for you. Hey! Voting, 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 voting. Voting, 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 vote. Hey, voting, 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 voting. Voting, 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 voting. Can one of you pick A or B? Thank you. 10 more seconds. Voting, voting, voting. Democracy. Voting, 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 voting. Voting, 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 voting. Voting, 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 voting. 10 more seconds! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh! Voting is tied at the door, and it looks like the holidays can continue, but counts must pay the grandees with some. The lure of coin quickly overrides the grandees' principles. Counts flock to the south for a week-long banquets and scandalous parties. Merchants and cooks alike prosper. Southern delicates become famous. There's a booming trade in hangover cures. Yes, there's a lot of clearing up to do afterwards, but that's a problem for later. And the season! And it looks like we've gotten everything under control. Confirm the taxes, baby. The spine. Yeah, we're not going to Winterfest, and there's no troubling find. We're going to the Spirewood Network, baby! All goes according to plan, Your Majesty. Let me show you. Your Spymaster takes you through a secret passage in your own private office. You emerge into a hidden chamber where a number of hooded figures are waiting. These are my agents. They can blend into the crowd as effortlessly as they can slip a knife through between a traitor's ribs. How can you be sure of their loyalty? I've been very careful in my selection. You can rely on these agents. Soon they will infiltrate the courts of all the nobles on your council, disguised as traveling bards. One of the spies tosses aside their cloak, revealing a lute and a colourful costume of a troubadour. With charm and flattery, they'll worm their way into your nobles' hearts and minds. Then we will have a spy network the likes of which the world has never seen. I hope to make even the Gaunt of Chelavan look like rank amateurs. Can they give us a song? A few notes are plucked on a lute. The assembled spies launch into a ballad. It's actually not bad. It's always tapping. If you think this is good, you should see them throw a knife. They could cut a rope at 30 yards. They should put a stop to those foolish schemers, and it will keep the kingdom stable for the rest of your reign. A little blackmail is a small price to pay. A week passes before you hear more news. Your spymaster arrives in your office with a tiny scroll, small as a cherry stem, clutched between two fingers. This is a message from one of our agents in your field, Your Majesty. I sent her to Grandee Hyena's manor, disguised as a caroller, aimed with the lute and a bucket of hymns. Oh, wonderful news! Don't get too excited. This is only the first step. Let's see what she has to say. Wait and hear the success of your fledgling spy. Oh, what? The spymaster studies the scroll for a moment and smiles creeps across her face. She holds it over a candle flame and it vanishes in a puff of cinders. She's been welcomed into Grandee Hyena Droid's court with open arms and is already flattering him with fawning songs. Let's hope our other spies are just as successful. Over the next few weeks, you receive back and word from more and more of your agents. Almost all of them have successfully wormed their way into your nobles' courts. Now we must hope they maintain their cover. Oh, isn't that lovely? Horizon! You are about to basically see the world's biggest steamroll, baby! Wait and see, 100% stability. A few more weeks pass. You wait anxiously for news of your spy's progress. One day your spymaster appears at your desk, her face lit by a triumphant smirk. Good news, Your Majesty! Our spies have uncovered some of your nobles' darkest secrets. Did you know the Grandee Hyena has an irrational fear of lemons? You do now. Oh, dismiss the whole thing. Oh, dang, missed the whole thing. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry that it occurred. We even have a few illicit romances between the nobles and our genetically attractive bards. The blackmail writes itself. Yes, your majesty, let it all out. A bout of insane laughter now and then is good for the soul. But we can't get complicit. We must see if our other spies are equally successful. Over the next few weeks, your spies send back more and more positive reports. Soon you establish a spy network throughout an entire kingdom. Blasphemy, my son Hyena the second would never fear lemons. Let's find out. It's with a sense of smugness that you call your next council session. As the nobles file in, you realize you know all their secrets, their weaknesses. Everything. Listen, your majesty! Ah, hello, Horizon! It's nice of you to drop in. I was thinking that taxes have been awfully high lately. Why don't we have a vote on reducing them? No. I must have misheard you. I just called a vote. Let's go! Chop chop! Chief, can you come here for a moment? I need a word in private. Chief Horizon walks up to your throne, his face quizzical. Your spy master leans over and whispers something in his ear, and he looks suddenly horrified. By the gods! How do you know that? Only my mother knows that! Sit down, Chief. If the king doesn't want a vote today, there will be no vote. Chief Horizon II returns to his seat, trembling like a leaf. This is an outrage! The vote must go ahead! Hey, care for some lemonade? Ah! Leave me alone! I'll do whatever you say! I could get used to this. When you leave the council hall, the nobles are quiet. They know a new era has begun, an era of cooperation. Or else. Your husband meets you back at your chambers, your heir Lagavir III in his arms. Wonderful. I'm not sure what would just happen, but I've never seen the nobles look so scared. This is where my reign really begins. Everyone who ever crossed me... Oh, wait, yeah. I can't wait to see what you have planned. That night you sleep an untroubled sleep for the first time since you sat on the throne. No matter their grievances, the nobles will never again dare to defy you. You simply need to mention offhandedly that you know what they did last winter, or that you know where they slept last night. The Monarch is victorious! It was a fucking steamroll! The Grandees continue to throw accusations of witchcraft and heresy at their enemies. Everyone gradually learned to ignore them, really. Oh. Shortly after King Lagavir II's reign... Ow! Hyena! Reign ended. The Inquisitor raided Countess Rainier's castle and placed her under arrest for evil magic. As she burned, she screamed the secret name of the seventh god. The chief decided that the time must not have been right. The prophecy was quietly forgotten by all except the god speakers who waited for their right omens to arise again. King Lagavir II ruled from the shadows, getting his way in the council with blackmail and threats. The nobles were terrified, but the peasants considered it a golden age. After 50 years of unquestioned rule, King Lagavir II died peacefully in bed, and nobles let out a collective sigh of relief. King Lagavir II, the Wolf. Oh! Game length 2 years and 9 months. Spouse Ignacio of the South, Monarch Lagavir III. And of course the nobles. The wealthiest noble, Hyena II, with 2,550. But the poorest noble is Horizon with 350, making you broke as much as possible. Riapo, what do you say to this W?
Smash that like button if you agree.
Yeah! Smash if you agree that was an awesome steamroll! Gotta take it to Riapo to say true facts! And of course, this is Lagavir III. They will be here doing a lot of this. Authority of 5, a stability of 10, treasure of 5,950. A lot. Whilst for this, we have CHEIFS with a trade of 10, a farming of 6, a military of 3, and a faith of 7, and a defiance of 1. With the Khans, a trade of 10, a farming of 10, a military of 2, a faith of 9, and a defiance of 1. With the Grandees, a trade of 10, a farming of 8, military of 5, a faith of 10, and no defiance. Oh, a steamroll it was! Thank you, everyone, for your ever so loving time in this gracious little runabout way. I appreciate you all being here in more ways than one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you most dearly to everyone that turned up, and I appreciate it all so dearly, and thank you for just redeeming that lovely Dr. Worm song. But yes, as we go into a luscious little road, who shall we be raiding today? Let's see. We should... Oh, I just pressed the wrong button because Twitch has this thing of just pressing the thing I don't want to press until later on. We should... Ooh, who should we raid? Let's go for... Raid my friend, Silas Plays. Something tells me... Don't you remember? Silas doesn't want to be raided. Don't you remember the last time? Silas turned off raids. Remember? I remember that because it's what Silas didn't want. Anyway, they fixed it. Oh, in that case, if you say so, let me double check. Wait. Let me just double check. I'm just trying to... Ah! Is Silas playing Fields of Mysteria? Is that your friend? Is that your friend? Ah, I see. Yep. I see that very much so. Very much so. But thank you all for the ever so lovely follows, your ever so loving attention, and I appreciate you all being here at once. As we go into a luscious little raid. Thank you everyone for watching. See you guys tomorrow with some good old-fashioned Dead by Daylight. We will be, of course, playing King of the Castle next week like we always do. And tomorrow we're playing King of the Castle, and the day after we're playing a new game. And I hope you all enjoy that very much so. And thank you everyone for watching as we raid Silas. Have a good day, good evening, good afternoon, and I will see you all tomorrow with Dead by Daylight. What do you have to say about that, React Bot?
Hashtag not all men.
Okay, that. We're gonna move on. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.